Unit 4. Number 1. Habitable. Providing conditions which are good enough to live in or on. For example, a lot of improvements would have to be made before the building was habitable. Some areas of the country are just too cold to be habitable. Number 2. Fuel. A substance which is used to provide heat or power, usually by being burned. For example, wood, coal, oil, petrol, and gas are all different kinds of fuel. Anything that keeps people's ideas or feelings active or make them stronger. For example, reports in today's newspapers have added fuel to the controversy. Number 3. Speculation. When you guess possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain. For example, rumors that they are about to marry have been dismissed as pure speculation. Speculative, based on a guess and not on information. For example, the article was dismissed as highly speculative. Number 4. Generate. To cause something to exist. For example, the new development will generate 1,500 new jobs. These measures will increase the club's ability to generate revenue. To produce energy in a particular form. For example, the wind farm may not be able to generate enough power for 2,000 homes. Generator. A machine which produces something, especially electricity. Number 5. Leap. To make a large jump or sudden movement, usually from one place to another. For example, he leapt out of his car and ran towards the house. I lifted up to answer the phone. A big change, increase, or improvement. For example, it takes quite a leap of imagination to believe that it's the same person. Leap year. A year that happens every 4 years and has an extra day on 29th February. Number 6. Speculate. To guess possible answers to a question when you do not have enough information to be certain. For example, journalists are speculating about whether interest rates will be cut. Number 2. To buy and sell in the hope that the value of what you buy will increase and that it can then be sold at a higher price in order to make a profit. For example, he made his money speculating on the London gold and silver markets. Number 7. Mechanism. A part of a machine or a set of parts that work together. For example, these automatic cameras have a special focusing mechanism. A way of doing something which is planned or part of a system. For example, the mechanism for collecting taxes needs revising. A part of your behavior which helps you to deal with a difficult situation. For example, she is actually rather insecure, and her rudeness is just a defense mechanism. Mechanistic. Thinking of living things as if they were machines. For example, according to mechanistic views of behavior, human actions can be explained in terms of cause and effect. Number 8. Odds. The probability that a particular thing will or will not happen. For example, If you drive a car all your life, the odds are that you will have an accident at some point. The probability is expressed as a number when risking money guessing the result of something. Odds are very probable. For example, it's odds on she will be late and I have rushed for no reason. Number 9. Prevailing. Existing in a particular place or at a particular time. For example, the prevailing mood is one of optimism. Prevalent. Existing very commonly or happening often. For example, these diseases are more prevalent among young children. Number 10. Freak. Very unusual or unexpected. For example, a freak whirlwind has destroyed over 20 caravans in West Wales. Freakish. Very unusual or unexpected, especially in an unpleasant or strange way. For example, fractious weather conditions have caused massive traffic hold-up in the area. Number 11. Immensity. The extremely large size of something. For example, the immensity of the task is daunting. Immensely. Extremely. For example, he was immensely popular in his day. Number 12. Inevitably. In a way that cannot be avoided. For example, their arguments inevitably end in tears. Inevitable. Certain to happen and unable to be avoided or prevented. For example, the accident was the inevitable. Number 13. Decisive. Able to make decisions quickly and confidently, or showing this quality. For example, you need to be more decisive, strongly affecting how a situation will progress or end. For example, these results could prove decisive in establishing the criminal's identity. Decisively. For example, if we had acted earlier and more decisively, it might not have come to this. Number 14. Hunch. An idea which is based on feeling and for which there is no proof. For example, sometimes you have to be prepared to follow a hunch. To lean forward with your shoulders raised, or to bend your back and shoulders into a rounded shape. For example, we hunched around the fire to keep warm. Hunched. Sitting hunched over a computer all day can cause problems. Number 15. Staggeringly. Staggeringly expensive. Staggering. Very shocking and surprising. For example, it costs a staggeringly £50,000 per week to keep the museum open to the public. 16. Accumulation. Amount of something that has been collected. For example, despite this accumulation of the evidence, the government persists in doing nothing. Accumulator. A battery that collects and stores electricity. Number 17. Irrelevant. Not related to what is being discussed or considered and therefore of no importance. For example, these documents are largely irrelevant to the present investigation. Irrelevantly. Number 18. Dent. A small hollow mark in the surface of something, caused by pressure or by being hit. For example, a dent in the door of a car. To make a small hollow mark in the surface of something. For example, I dropped the hammer on the floor and it dented the floorboard. If you dent someone's confidence or pride, you make them feel less confident or proud. For example, his confidence was badly dented when he did not get into the football team. Dental, relating to the teeth. Number 19, fluke. Something good that has happened that is the result of a chance instead of skill or planning. For example, the first goal was just a fluke. Fluky. Number 20, cosmic, relating to the universe and the natural processes that happen in it. For example, cosmic dust, cosmic radiation. Very great. For example, the earthquake was a disaster of cosmic proportions, cosmetically. Number 21, typical, showing all the characteristics that you would usually expect from a particular group of things. For example, I must look like the typical tourist with my shorts and my camera. This sort of hot and spicy food is very typical of the food in the south of the country, showing all the bad characteristics that you expect from someone or something, often in a way that is annoying. For example, it's just typical of Ireland to spend all that money on equipment and then lose interest halfway through the course. Number 22, inventory, a detailed list of all the things in a place. For example, a set of 24 carved and gilded chairs appear on the inventory of the house for 1736. It also means the amount of goods a shop has or the value of them. For example, our inventory of used cars is the best in town. Inventor, someone who has invented something or whose job is to invent things. 23. Intermingle, to become mixed together. For example, the flavors intermingle to produce a very unusual taste. Fact is intermingled with fiction throughout the book. Interminable, continuing for too long and therefore boring or annoying. For example, an interminable delay. 24. Seething. When you are seething, you are very angry about something, but do not express your feelings about it. If you say that a place is sizzling with people or things, you are emphasizing that it is very full of them and that they are all moving about. For example, their sizzling resentment led to angry jostling between team members. A sizzling mass of children crowded around the tables. Seize, to feel very angry but to be unable to or unwilling to express it clearly. For example, the class positively seized with indignation when Julia won the prize. 25. Descend, to go or come down. For example, the path descended steeply into the valley. Jane descended the stairs. If a negative or bad feeling descends, it is felt everywhere in the place or by everyone at the same time. For example, a feeling of despair descended as we realized that we were lost. Descendant, a person who is related to someone or who lives after them, such as their children or grandchildren. For example, he has no descendants. They claim to be descendants of a French duke. We order to our descendants to leave them a clean world to live in. 26. Delve. To search, especially as if by digging, in order to find a thing or information. For example, she delved into her pocket to find some change. 27. Sentient. Able to experience physical and possibly emotional feelings. For example, it's hard for a sentient person to understand how any parents can treat their children so badly. Sententious. Trying to appear wise, clever, and important. For example, the document was sententious and pompous.